Underneath one of America's most photographed national parks, past a boarded-up ranger station nobody's supposed to look at twice, there's a facility built for exactly one purpose: rebuilding the human race from nothing, after everyone else on the surface is already gone. It has never been used. The Foundation genuinely hopes it never has to be. And the single word this archive uses to describe weapons like it exists largely because of this one facility. This is SCP-2000. Deus Ex Machina. Thaumiel is the rarest, most classified designation in this entire archive. Not a threat the Foundation is containing, a weapon or resource the Foundation is actively using to counter something even worse. Before this file, the concept existed only informally, without a settled name attached to it. This file is where it finally got one, popularized specifically because of what sits underneath Yellowstone National Park. That alone should tell you this facility is close to the reason this channel has a word for that category at all. Almost nothing else at this level of classification ever gets discussed this openly, even inside the archive itself. The entrance to SCP-2000 looks, to anyone who finds it, like a disused park ranger station. The kind of small, unremarkable structure visitors walk past every single day without a second glance. Despite documented trespassing attempts, that entrance has never once been breached. No further physical containment has ever been deemed necessary beyond keeping up the disguise. Supplies and personnel move in and out through unmarked roads under a standing operation called Protocol Plainsight. Hiding an installation this significant using nothing more than a building nobody has any reason to look at twice. National parks exist to be preserved and visited, drawing exactly the kind of attention most Foundation sites avoid. Hiding something this important inside a place built for public access may be the boldest bet in this entire file. Ringing the facility's exterior, spaced every 20 meters in a hexagonal pattern, sit devices called Scranton reality anchors, built specifically to prevent hostile anomalous interference from reaching whatever sits underneath. A researcher's note states the mechanism behind these anchors has to be kept hidden from any reality-bending entity that might learn of it. Only a narrow tier of specially cleared maintenance technicians are ever briefed on how they actually work. If that clearance is ever revealed to someone without it, policy calls for reassignment and amnestic treatment immediately afterward. The file frames this as a legitimate safety concern, for a secret reality warping threats themselves might specifically come looking for. This channel has already introduced entities capable of rewriting history or erasing stories from within. A perimeter engineered to stay invisible to threats like those is an admission ordinary security was never going to be enough here. Personnel cleared to work here are not permitted to leave Yellowstone National Park for the entire duration of their assignment. If a transfer ever happens, it comes with a mandatory cost: Class A amnestics and a full set of false memories, constructed carefully enough to convince that person they'd spent their career on an entirely different assignment instead. Every person who has ever worked here leaves with a completely fabricated version of what they actually did with those years. All assigned staff also submit to regular neural archetype scans, monthly at minimum, weekly for anyone stationed on-site full-time. This file describes compartmentalizing a person's own memory of themselves, layered on top of the usual secrecy every assignment requires. Most Cater-class assignments still let personnel leave with their real memories intact, protected only by clearance and secrecy. This file goes a full step further. The work itself is considered too significant to remember accurately at all. The original blueprints for this facility are gone. Losing them wasn't treated as a failure. The O5 Council determined that fully disassembling and rebuilding the facility would simply cause it to stop working. Rather than solving that fragility, the Council formalized it into the facility's actual protection strategy. No blueprints means no way to recreate it if it's ever lost, and no way for anyone to duplicate it elsewhere. The greatest vulnerability this facility has doubles as one of the only guarantees nothing like it can be built again. An organization built entirely around documentation deliberately chose to let one of its most important records disappear. Everything this file has shown you exists to protect a single function: The reconstruction of humanity itself, held in reserve, for use only in the aftermath of a K-class scenario. A full species-ending event. The file is explicit that this facility is considered an absolute last resort, not a backup plan anyone treats casually. Its own nickname, Deus Ex Machina, borrowed from old dramatic terminology for a last-minute rescue arriving to save everyone, not a solution. An admission that if this facility is ever needed, everything the Foundation was built to prevent has already happened. The facility does not promise to rebuild civilization, culture, or memory. It produces new human beings, nothing more. Whatever caused the extinction event would still have to be survived and rebuilt from nothing by whoever wakes up here. This channel's orientation episode described the Foundation's mission as Secure, Contain, Protect. Active prevention. This facility is a quiet acknowledgement that prevention might eventually fail completely. Success here is measured by nothing happening at all, for however many decades the assignment lasts. Does having this facility in reserve make an organization more careful, or does it make catastrophe feel more survivable to risk? A researcher on a Keter-class team can point to breaches prevented. Someone assigned here has no incident report to justify the sacrifice. Dr. Lowell Henry Piedmont of the facility's Esoteric Containment Division leaves a note on the reality anchors. If these devices are ever compromised, so too is our lifeboat. That word choice reframes everything. Not a weapon, not an asset. The one thing left afloat if everything else eventually goes under. It's the one moment this file lets you hear an actual person, aware of exactly what he's protecting. A note like that wasn't only written for the next technician, it was written for whoever might read this file long after he was gone. So that's SCP-2000, Deus Ex Machina, not a threat contained, a promise kept in reserve. Underneath a national park, millions of people visit every year without the faintest idea what's sitting beneath their hiking trail. A disguised ranger station nobody's ever managed to breach. A ring of devices too dangerous to explain even to the people protecting them. Staff who trade years of their real memories for a fabricated career, simply for having served here. Most of what this channel covers describes something the Foundation is desperate to prevent. This one, it's desperate to keep ready. I'm Shroudex. See you in the dark.